Good day, all. Today we're at Mom's, and we're going to be helping her set up her earth boxes. I hope you don't mind the sound because the yardmen are here today, leaf blowing, and there's some tree cutters that will be here. I'm hoping to get some footage of them chopping up a big tree that had to come down. And here's the big stone wall. Of course, one of my sister-in-law's kayaks is getting ready to go out into the little dock. And this area here where the daffs are, you can see there used to be junipers there. Those were taken out the previous year, and I think we're going to try to make that into sort of a big, long perennial border. Look how beautiful. All the bulbs are really coming up. The scent of this hyacinth off the little porch. It's just gorgeous. I wish you could smell the scent. And of course, all the hostas are poking their little heads up along the old brick path that meanders up to the front door. In fact, these hostas I took cuttings of these years ago and have some at Old King's. And I love this little bit of the house with the old stone. Here's a pretty little daff. And the urns with the boxwoods and this funny old boot scraper, which we still use this boot scraper, particularly if we're at this, which is the front door. We normally go through the boot room or the mud room. But I love the old chime on this door. This little handle you just turn and it makes the little bell ring inside. And Mom was excited because she was able to have the storm door open, the wooden door that sits in front that stops the cold wind in the wintertime. But this whole little front border here, which is on the opposite of the pond side, just has a few daffs and the pretty little grape hyacinths poking out. It's funny to think in a few weeks this will be full of herbaceous perennials and we'll plant some new annuals. I love this. I think this is replete, this double daffodil. So today we're going to just be sort of pottering around at Mom's, and we're going to be starting to set up her earth boxes. We're in the mudroom, and I have the stand that Mom just got. She has 3 earth boxes, and she needed to get the stand, which was the last one available at Country Garden. So I need to set that up for her. But whilst we're in here, I wanted to show there's a little bathroom off of the mudroom that we kind of use just to wash yourself and from gardening and etc. But I wanted to show that we have the old sink in here with the double taps, because I always watch reaction channels, and UK people often say the difference between US and UK houses is that they have the double taps whilst we have the taps with a mixer. But just wanted to show that New England also has separate hot and cold taps. And I'm out on the back porch, pond side, putting together the stand. So there are 3 stands because there are 3 earth boxes. And my mother-in-law started using earth boxes for her veg a few years ago when she was kind of feeling a little ill. And this is the first time we're going to have them here. So we got new stands, and they're going to be around the big back porch so that you can kind of see the veg grow as well as see the pond view. So how they work is they have these little tubes that go down into this reservoir, and then a plastic bit sits on top to keep the soil up, and then they're sort of self-watering in that you don't have to water them as often, so that the veg can send their roots down, or whatever plants can send their roots down to the reservoir and have enough to drink. So we're trying them out here this year, and we'll see how they work. And it really is a lovely day to be pottering about in the garden. Oh, and I love this chime. It always makes you think of the boy bells out at Bunny Hall. So yes, well, we won't plant anything in these earth boxes today, but we are going to get the soil in, and we have some little garden things to do. So I'm going to grab a cuppa, and I think there are also a couple of house plants or ferns that Mom wanted to put in her new planters. So we'll probably get to that today. Here they are. And the oxalis from St. Patrick's Day. They're happily outside enjoying the shade. So let's get to it. We're using good Coast of Maine organic garden bed, raised bed. It's a pretty good soil. It does have a lot of natural sea things in it, which we actually can get locally. And back at Bunny Hall, I actually make my own seaweed mix and such. But this is a good potting soil, and it's really good for the raised bed. And we have Lonnie, the family dog, helping us in her own way, just basking in the sun. She was chasing a pair of geese earlier. I'll have to see if I can find them. But we're getting the bags of Coast of Maine organic potting soil into the raised beds. Actually, let's head over here. I think I did. Yes, here's the pair of geese. The poor pair of geese. Lonnie was chasing them earlier, and then we're working out on the back porch. The yard men are out with leaf blowers, and the tree men are here taking down a big tree, so they're not sure what to do. But actually, I wanted to show the tree. So over here, just by the edge of the boat shed, I'm trying to stay out of their way because they're doing a lot of work. And I don't want to get too close because then the sound is too loud. But you can see here they have the chipping machine over off the back of the truck, and then they have a sort of a skid steer with a little clamp. And here they're dragging the tree. Now, we've cut our fair share of trees by ourselves. It's a lot of work, so when you can get someone in to do the bigger stuff, it's nice. But I just thought it was kind of interesting. It happened to be going on today, so I thought I would share it with you. It's always fun to see things getting done by machines. It's always so much more efficient. Let's go over by the chicken house, which is just adjacent to the little boat shed. See if I can kind of sneak through this little copse of trees we have here. In the summer, this is more full of leaves, but let's poke through here and see if I can zoom in. See the size of the tree stump they're running through now? And of course, that's giving us wood chips, and you can never, ever have enough wood chips. So, just enjoying someone else doing some work before we get back to the porch. So I think I'm going to head back to the porch and keep working on the boxes and maybe plant up a couple of ferns that Mom wanted to put in her new pots by the door. So I'm just using these little houseplant. I think they're called snakeskin ferns. So Mom used them for her houseplants this winter, and we decided to make them into the centerpiece for these two pots. We'll probably get more plants to add. She had a couple. I can't remember what these are called, but these are two more little houseplants that we happen to have two that match. So I'm putting one in either corner. But I think this week when we go to the garden center, we'll probably find some more plants to put in here. Maybe some kind of I'm not sure what, maybe impatiens or something like that. But we're just trying to get things started for spring. Oh, and then there was also a cedar that needs to be repotted, so we put it in a bigger pot, and I'm just trying to get that sorted. And then even though the yardmen are about, my mother-in-law likes hubby to trim the two topiary that she has, which are just old cedar trees, but she likes to keep them in sort of a lollipop shape. I just wanted to share it because I thought he was silly with his little work hoodie on, but he still has his pipe in his mouth, as he does love a tobacco pipe. So just a day enjoying getting things done at Mama's. Well, the day's getting on, so we thought we'd just take a moment to have a little breather and just watch the pond, which I think I mentioned last time. Since we've had so much rain, it's lovely how full the pond is. And this is a kettle pond on the Cape, and kettle ponds were made by glaciers, back when this area was formed. I think it's funny, Lonnie, the family dog, she loves to walk out when we go out onto the dock. But she loves my husband so much. But maybe just a few more things. Mom's little flowering quince is doing really well. I have one at Old King's and it has a different colored flower. This is more of a reddish pink. In some of the bird boxes, many which are getting birds' nest in already. Look how beautiful the flowering cherry is. The colors are lovely. This is just such a spring moment with the yellow forsythia and the beautiful flowering fruit trees and the little birdhouse there. Just the colors of spring, yellows, deep blues of the water, soft blues of the sky, and the yellow and green just starting out. Well, as we finished our work, we have to go put our tools away in well, this is the chicken house, but it's also the tool shed. There's just a little section used to have chickens in. My mother-in-law no longer has chickens, but there's a little separate section inside where the chickens would live. But I just thought it's kind of cute in here, although she said she thought it was far too messy, but I think it looks quite organized. This little bit here was the spot where the chickens would live inside, and they had their little nest box, and then that little window would normally close, but now it's left open because we just use it for more pot storage. And for a final look back out on the deck, of course we haven't planted anything in the boxes that will have veg. It's too early, but I do have the ferns in by the side of the door, and the boxes are ready. We're thinking of planting her growing vines up the sides of the back porch. And these yellow daffs, I can't recall the name of these particular daffs, but they're quite pretty. But it's that time of the day as the sun's getting closer to setting. It's moved its way across. And it gets dark in the garden now, but the light scans over and hits the tree line on the other side of the pond, just brightening up. Hope it's showing up in the camera, but it's so gorgeous. Because the way, especially this time of the year before the deciduous trees have got their leaves and just little tufts of evergreens poke out. So let's walk along the old stone wall, which, as I said, this used to have an evergreen hedge, which was taken out so that we can start making a long herbaceous border. Looking back at the pond with the bright light, and now that all the tree people are gone, the yardmen have put away their tools, things are cleaned up. I love this part of the garden with the long shadows on the lawn. I love how this part of the lawn is so open with just a few choice trees. It feels very park-like. And then the shoreline of the pond and the bright greens of the moss and the bright sky across the pond. It's been a lovely, busy spring day. I should probably head back indoors. I know Mom and hubby went back in. I think Mom was talking about possibly having a fire in the sitting room this evening, because even though it's been a lovely warm spring day, I do love on a spring day how it gets chilly in the evening, so then we can have hot cocoa and a roaring fire in the sitting room and talk about the chores we've done for the day and plan out the things we'd like to do for the coming season and the hopefulness of spring. And one last shot of the vast difference of the shade in the garden against the bright light on the tree line opposite. So let's hop inside and see the view from the sitting room. And we're back inside, and I'm not sure if I shared this needlework tester before, but my husband's grandmother made it when she was first married. I think it's 1940 when she did it, but it's of Cape Cod, and I love that it has the little Native American and the Puritan and the Massachusetts emblems. But looking out after a hard day's work, I love the little ships and the bottles on the window ledge. But you can see even from inside, see how bright the light is on that tree line across the pond, but yet the shadows are eking their way across, and how deep and ink the watercolor becomes on this side. It's just been a lovely day. And so now we can settle in, and I think hubby is going to go out and get a little extra firewood. Mom will make a little treat for us, and we can sit around in this room and enjoy the fire. And it should be a lovely night. Oh, it should be a good night for the peepers, which are these little tree frogs we get this time of the year. If I can remember to record it, I'm going to record the peepers for you to hear them. Yes, the peepers are definitely out, and I want to get close to this. Obviously, this is a pond, but right next to us is a small wetland or a bog, and the peepers just love it. Oh, and there go two bunnies. But as much as one loves to listen to the waves of the shore at Bunny Hall, here at Mom's, the sound of the peepers this time of the year is magical. When we spend the night, we always sleep with our windows wide open, and you can hear the peepers, and it's such a lovely cacophony of sound. Isn't it magical? It's a lovely sound to fall asleep to. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's little vlog, spending the day working on the garden at Mom's. And it was a fun day for me. And until next time, I hope you get a moment to enjoy your own garden or friend or family's garden. And until next time, I hope we can find some fun things to do together in my next video. But until then, remember, stay creative. Cheers.